Hello. This series is going to be about cruise extras and whether or not you think they're worth it. So, I'm going to tell you all about them and how they work, and then you'll get to decide what works best for you and your budget if you have a budget. So, the first cruise line that I'm going to start with is Carnival. So, Carnival has lots of different extras that are available when you partake in their sailings. So, I am going to start every video in this series talking about cellular devices and roaming. So, my very first piece of advice is going to be to contact your cellular carrier to find out what their roaming charges are or how it works if you travel and you go overseas or out of the country. The reason being is that if you're cruising, when you're on the boat, especially if you purchase an internet package, you can connect to the ship's internet. But once you reach that port and you exit the boat and you go out into the Bahamas or Mexico or wherever you're going, you are then roaming if you have that phone with you. It can be in your pocket. You don't even have to be using it. But if someone is texting you or calling you, you are being charged roaming. So that is definitely a question that you want to ask your carrier before you set off on any cruise, even if you are purchasing the internet. So my advice would be to keep your phone in airplane mode for the entire time. So that first night that you're on the ship, you'll probably be in the United States. As soon as you think, like when you go to bed that night, flip your phone to airplane mode and then leave it that way for the duration of the ship to avoid any extra charges. So that's just my piece of advice, because these extras are nothing compared to what that cell phone will be, especially if you're a family of travelers and everybody has a device that they haven't turned off and you're incurring roaming fees. So that's first and foremost. And then the second one, of course, is the internet package. So internet packages are available. They usually have different tiers, and they're somewhere around $25 per person per day per device for internet, and you can decide whether or not that's worth it for you. If you're working from the ship, it may be worth it for you to have, or whether or not you want to have one device or two. So that is another thing that is offered in addition to just the trip itself, that probably a charge that you weren't aware of. Of course, the most popular one is the drink package. So first, I'm going to talk to you about the alcohol package. So the alcohol packages usually start somewhere at around $85 per person per day. So you have to ask yourself how much you're going to drink. If you are a heavy drinker, then it may be worth it for you. Um, if you're just drinking two or three drinks a day, then it's not worth it, because you'll pay roughly around $15 per drink. So that's how the alcohol package works. For Carnival, if there are two adults in the cabin, so if you're both 21 years old and one person wants the drink package, you both have to purchase it because they know that you're going to share it. So that is something that you definitely want to know before you purchase a drink package. So make sure the other person sharing the cabin with you is on the same page when it comes to that charge. My advice would be to travel with a diamond or a platinum member, because they drink for free and they can pass those drinks off to you. So that's the alcohol package. The next one that Carnival offers is, I believe, called a bubbles package, and it just allows you to get soda. So there are several soda stations around the ship. They're just like the ones that you see in fast food restaurants, where you press your cup up against it and then it comes out of the spout that way. You have to swipe your badge and then you get like 15 seconds to get your drink. And it can be any type of cup. So you can use any cup and you can get your soda out. They have little cups next to them, but they are about this big. They're the tiniest little cups ever. So that's one part about cruises. If you're someone who's thirsty all the time, you need to be carrying a cup around. But you have that cup, you get your 15 seconds to fill up. That package does not include water. So You can sometimes go to the bars and they will give you a little bit of water, but they will give you a can of soda if you go to the bar as well. So if you do not purchase a soda package at all or any sort of drink package whatsoever, your beverages of choice while you are cruising will be apple juice, lemonade, tea, usually unsweetened, just different types of juices that get old very fast. So FYI in terms of the beverage package, and again, per person per day. Also, with Carnival, you cannot bring any bottles on whatsoever, unless it's one bottle of wine. I believe you can bring one bottle of wine on, but like if you try and bring a bottle of water or a 12 pack of water, a case of water, they won't allow you on with that. You can only bring unopened cans on. So you'll see a lot of people during embarkation with 12 packs of soda. So you can bring cans in, you can only bring canned water. So if it's going to be anything, it has to be in a can. It cannot be in a bottle. I found that out the hard way. So keep that in mind for Carnival. The next would be the pictures or the portrait packages, which I think are really exciting. Budget for those in advance if you're going to want those professional pictures. So everywhere you go on the ship, as soon as you walk onto the ship, there will be Carnival employees with cameras and they'll be taking pictures of you at every point on that cruise. So they'll be there for dinner, they'll be there during when you reach ports, you'll get there and they have the little circular whatever the little sailing thing, I can never think of the name of it, the circular thing, that the floaty thing with the name of the ship on it. They'll have you posing in front of there, and then what happens is it's really cool because they take pictures of you and then they ask you your cabin information, and then if you give them a little bit of time, they upload those pictures so you can look at them on your app and decide which ones you like. And like I said, it is every point during your vacation. So you'll see them every evening at dinner time. You can pose for as many pictures as you like when you're getting off the ship, when you're getting back on the ship. At every port, it'll have the name of the port that you're at. And the pictures are really, really nice. They are really high quality. And every time I take them, I always want to purchase all of them almost all the time. So Carnival has a package that you can purchase in advance for about $99, and it's for 5 pictures. So my advice is, once you get the 5 pictures that you like, once you see them in that app, then stop. Just stop taking the pictures, because if you don't stop taking the pictures, you're going to want to buy even more. And what happens is the price of the pictures will go up as you continue to sail, because they know that you're going to want them. So you have to do everything in advance to avoid paying a whole lot of money. But the pictures are a really fun part of the cruise that some people aren't aware of. I know my first one 10 years ago, they took the pictures and then they were like posted in the like on the ship somewhere in a designated area. That's the only way we saw them, and now they have them on the app. So that is really, really cool. And if you have a family, you can plan to dress up maybe one evening, especially during the captain's ball or something, and then everyone can take a bunch of pictures. They let you do a bunch of poses. It's really nice. So don't forget about that when budgeting for some of the things that you'll do. In terms of dining, there's specialty dining. So there are restaurants that are on the ship. There's lots of them, and you need to make reservations at those restaurants. So my advice would be to go on the website or on the app, look at the restaurants and the type of cuisine. They're going to start at about $50 unless you do lunch, and still maybe $45 per person per meal. So they're really good, because sometimes eating in the dining room can be mundane. So the way the dining room works is, when you book, they'll usually ask if you want early dining or late dining, or there'll be a time on your booking, or you'll see it on your invoice when you book the trip. And you report to the same dining room every day, same time. You'll have the same server, you'll sit in the same place, and they do switch the menu out every day. But for me, it gets old, so I like specialty dining. So if you like specialty dining, go on, look at the menu, book in advance, pay in advance, because it's not going to get any cheaper as the cruise date nears. And the only thing that's going to happen is that reservations are going to fill up, especially on at sea days, because there's not a lot to do since you're not getting off the boat. So that's when lots of people want to dine at those specialty restaurants. So make sure you go in and do that in advance. The spa. So the spa is very nice. The spa is also very expensive. The cheapest spa service is usually going to be $100 unless you have a coupon, and they will give out coupons in the beginning where they'll be like half off a spa service or something if you purchase another one. There's different ones that they have, but I would budget if you're going to go to the spa and get a massage. I would say expect to pay at least $100 unless you have a coupon that makes that service cheaper for you, but it is quite an experience. So if you're a spa person, definitely do the spa on the cruise. Excursions. There's all types of excursions. Again, on the app, on the website, you'll see them. There's different excursions at different ports. You can swim with pigs, feed pigs, go on catamarans, go on tugboats, canoes, rafts, you name it. Every possible thing imaginable you can do in terms of an excursion, and the prices vary. Sometimes they're really cheap, and sometimes they're really pricey. And they'll also charge you in some instances even to have a cabana when you're at the cruise port. So go in, look at those, budget accordingly. And another really important one is to budget for food on days when you are at cruise ports, because 9 times out of 10, if you're traveling, you're going to be eating that cuisine. So you have to take money. So that's not included when you're stepping off the boat. So budget for those meals when you're off, especially if you're going to eat when you're off at the port. Some people feel like I'm paying for the cruise, I'm going to eat on the boat. That's fine too. I'm a person that likes to experience the cuisine wherever I travel to, so I eat every time I get off the boat. So if you're one of those people, keep that in mind. And the prices can be inflated if you are dining somewhere near that port, in that in the designated area. So they do have taxis that are there that will take you different places outside, so you'll be able to experience wherever you're traveling to. And sometimes you can ask where the best restaurants are, but keep that in mind when you're budgeting. um Gratuity. I always talk about gratuity. Per person per day on cruises, the amount varies. It's roughly about at least $100 if it's going to be for the week, and the gratuity can be added in the cost of the cruise when you first finance it, or you can choose to pay the gratuity on the back end. And of course, the thing I bring up every time is the travel insurance. You want to make sure you have it, so in the event that you can't take the cruise and you have to cancel, you get all your money back. I do it for everything, not just cruises, but I've done it for concerts before. So if you miss a show or something like that, make sure you get the insurance, because if you have to cancel, you want your money back. You don't want to waste it. So these are just some examples of the extras, the extra costs that are associated with cruising if you want to do anything outside of what just being on the cruise ship is. My advice would be to always download the app, go on the website, and see everything that's offered so you know what to expect and you can pick accordingly so you can have the best time ever. So I hope this helps. As always, use the comment section for anything extra. If I forgot anything, I'm sure I did, because there's so much to cover, but there's more to come in the series. So thank you for watching.